hopping on here. It has been a crazy end of the month. Today is April 1st, if you happen to be watching this as a replay. Certainly the craziness of the end of March has been rough. If you are new to my channel, I am Beth. I am a diabetes educator, nurse. I'm also a dance mom to 2 competition dancers. We had 2 travel dance competitions in March. I did a couple of shows, craft shows. I had my own birthday in March. Then I also started doing a few live sales on Palmstreet. Palmstreet is an app that originally started as a plant. Oh, you can't even see that I'm crocheting and doing stuff here. Started as a plant kind of swap. It had a slightly different name, and during COVID, and then the people that were running it decided to open it to some select crafters and stuff as well. So I've seen some other crocheters have really successful Palmstreet sales, and I thought that would be a good avenue to try out as well. So made a couple of sales. It hasn't been super big for me, but certainly I don't have the social media following that a number of the other crafters and crocheters do, as I just start. The YouTube is still fairly small, very small, and still fairly new, just the first quarter. And so certainly don't have all the same marketing that some of the others have that have thousands and thousands of followers and viewers. So we will see where that goes. And then, as I mentioned with our dance competition, this last weekend we were in Charlotte. So I live in North Carolina. I am so it was 3.5 hours or so for us to get to this dance competition. It was a huge thing. After doing Friday night of dancing, we then came back to our hotel on Friday night at like 11 o'clock, and we found ants in the bathroom and all over the sink. So at midnight on Friday night, we were changing hotel rooms. So obnoxious. And then, so we got like 6 hours of sleep Friday night. Then on Saturday, we get back to the hotel again at midnight, and we're back up at 5:30. So it was just a very long weekend. So still recovering from that. But with all of the end of the month chaos of closing out my patient charts for all of my diabetes patients, I realized earlier today that I have not like crocheted in a week, which is awful. I have been working 12-hour days up until we left for dance competition Saturday at noon or Friday at noon. And then I had my laptop with me and worked all weekend from the dance competition. And then again, worked yesterday, trying to finish everything up before month end. So today is my day to crochet. I'm currently making a super big Mabel the chicken. I love the speckled, this one doesn't have a tag, the Bernat blanket. Oh, that one doesn't have a tag either. I've got a bunch of partial skeins here. I love the Bernat speckle for my chickens. I just find that it really gives it a realistic look here for the chickens. And then I am currently using my furls hook for this one to make it big, depending on how big of a hook I choose, depends on how big my chicken ends up being. And my chickens are like 10, 12, and 15 is about where I price them at. Certainly they all take the same amount of time. It just depends on the yarn I use, the hook size, as to how big they come out to be. So this guy looks to be good and done there. So we can clip him and start on, am I a British national? No, I'm from the US. I live in North Carolina. I'm originally from Illinois, but no British. A bit German, bit of a hodgepodge that us Americans are, but yeah, just a mutt. So, but thanks for hopping on, spending some time with me this Tuesday afternoon where I am. The sun is getting behind the building that I parked at, living in the middle of nowhere. I ended up having to drive halfway back home. Usually I do my videos from the dance parking lot, but I swear they turn the cell towers off on Tuesdays. I don't understand. There is just absolutely no reception. I need to count for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Absolutely no reception in that town. There is a college in the town, and I don't understand why they have no cell service. It is super obnoxious. So I then had to drive to a place that has cell service. So it is what it is, but with everything being so incredibly busy recently, I just haven't had time to sit down and film and edit. So thought I would just pop on here and do a live so that I could connect with everybody, update to what's been going on, and be able to chit chat with y'all. So hey, thanks for joining. Again, if you're new to my channel, I am Beth, and I am one of the designers behind crochetrx. I am a diabetes educator nurse, and that is where the prescription part comes in there. As I joke, I've got your prescription for plushies and all that fun. So it's my daughters also are in business with me, but one is currently dancing, and as we live so far out, I tend to just then work from the car while they are at dance. That way I don't spend 2 hours in the car commuting every day to their classes. I'll either bring my laptop and work on my diabetes patient charts, or I have my yarn and I sit and crochet for events and different shows. So definitely a different lifestyle than what we had when we lived in the Midwest and dance was super close and all of that. I am in North Carolina. I'm originally from Illinois. I am in the US, and I do markets in the eastern part of North Carolina, in the Raleigh and Wilmington, Fayetteville market areas. Everything is about an hour from me, so I'm able to spread out and do all that. I currently do not ship internationally. I do ship domestically through my Shopify store. That will calculate all of that, but I do not ship internationally at this time. So I do have one pattern. If you are a crocheter yourself, I do have a pattern, and that is a digital download, so that could be easily done from anywhere. In English, I have Strike the Bowling Pin that I created for a friend and then published earlier this year after going through testers and all of that good stuff. So it's definitely been a journey, and as far as upcoming events and things like that, we have another dance competition this weekend, so no craft show this weekend. We will once again be spending our whole weekend dancing. With it being the beginning of the month and not so stressful with charting, hopefully I can sit at the theater and get some crocheting done. I tend to make turtles and chickens while in these different theaters and places because I pretty much have the pattern memorized, and I can make all the body parts, not worry about stuffing or eyes or any of that, And then when I get to a place back home, I can go back through and put everything together and get that all done without having to worry about all the extra parts that go into making the plush friends. So that's always nice. I do have a pretty good selection of turtles though from the dance competition at the beginning of March. So I may have to look at what else I can make easily while distracted. I'll have a good number of chickens as well after tonight. So I've already made a couple of chicken bodies that just need to have the accessories put on, stuffed, and shot. So there's not a whole lot to do for them. So I'll have to figure out what other pattern I might do this upcoming weekend while we are dancing. If you have suggestions on patterns that are easy, fairly mindless, not a whole lot of counting, because with the dancers going on and off the stage, it is easily distracting. So I find that just, some good basic in the round without having to count all the arms and legs and all of that kind of stuff is easiest for me. So definitely open to some of that for ideas for crocheting at this upcoming dance competition. It will be multiple late nights again. My daughter has a tap solo that she is dancing to, Poor Unfortunate Souls, from the Little Mermaid, Ursula's song. And that is late Friday night. Then there are a number of, I think one has 4 dances Saturday night. The other one has the 1 or 2. And those, they don't dance until like between 9 and 10 o'clock at night. And then we still have the awards and a 45-minute drive home. So we will see how brain dead I am. Hopefully I've recovered from last weekend before we head into this next weekend. If you're not from the Southeast, we are also experiencing what is known as the pollinating. All of the pine trees are dropping all of their yellow pollen everywhere. And forecasters joke about there being a ½ inch of pollen on all the surfaces, but no lie, it is everywhere. You can see pollen handprints on cars. It, as opposed to just being dirty and people writing "wash me" on them, it is just pollen all over everything. So I can definitely feel it in my sinuses. They are not happy. And I've been doing some, extra stuff trying to support my immune system, but allergies are just awful, 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 awful. So I can definitely feel my sinuses. They remind me that they're there, but we will see. Hopefully with some of this rain that came through last night, and then hopefully there will be some more rain coming through. Certainly the Carolinas need it with all the wildfires and all that. So, but as far as I talked about this weekend being no show, or there's not a show because we're watching a dance competition. Then the following weekend, I believe we are in Durham for an event, and that should be pretty good. It's another brewery. We had a really good time at that axe throwing and the brewery there in Wilmington. So I'm hoping that this will be a similar good time at this sip-in shop in Durham. And then the following weekend, so now we're into the 3rd weekend in April, that we have an event in, I can't pronounce this town. I pronounce it wrong every single time. It's like Fuquay-Varna. I'm not sure. I am not local to here. It looks like a bunch of swear words to me. So just saying. But we have an event at a brewery there. I'm told there's a lot of new builds, new construction in the area, really nice condos and townhouses. It's just off of downtown is where it is. And a couple of people have told me that it should be a really good event. So looking forward to that opportunity as well. And then we have another dance event the following weekend in April. And then we are into May already, which is absurd. Just absolutely absurd to be thinking that we are that far into the year already. I know that things have just gone, the days seem long, but the weeks are short, sort of thing. And I definitely feel that, especially, as we balance all the things between work. I also homeschool the girls, our little family business here. So it gets to be a lot trying to manage everything with the household and education and all of that. So the time can certainly fly by when you're, reflecting on all that. So it's definitely a strange time. And certainly with dance, it's different as well. As my children get older, they need me less. I used to be so much of a hands-on, do everything mom, and they just don't need that anymore. So last year I was still kind of standby, and I still am. Certainly if they needed something, they could come and grab me. But this is the first season that I've not helped back in the dressing rooms. Nobody's asked me to sew anything. Nobody has asked me to press or steam anything. It's a different season, not that it's bad. But I certainly feel a loss of control as somebody asks, do you have an extra hairnet? And it's like, yeah, well, I didn't pack the dream duffel. I couldn't find it. So it's a different letting go of control. And I'm sure that every parent out there has gone through a similar scenario to where, it's different letting go. You set all this stuff up and put it all into motion, and then you hope that they succeed. So that's where we're at here, as I have a new driver and working through all of those changes that come with teens. So we will keep marching on and make sure that we spend as much fun time together as we can, and try and grow them into good humans. So that's the ultimate goal. So otherwise, other crochet crafty things, I went to, I think I talked about this in a previous video, we had gone to Joann's after a recent show, and there was no yarn. We ended up walking next door to Ollie's and finding the burlap blanket and buying a whole bunch of speckle yarn and a really nice ombre as well. That's another burlap blanket. So I hope to get back and see what other yarns they've got so that I can, take advantage of those good deals. Do you have Ollie's near you? Let me know in the comments if you've got an Ollie's near you and if you've been stalking for some of the Bernat deals. Certainly half off is a great time to stock up on all of that, especially when there's certain colors that you use all the time, like I do for my chickens and cats with these speckles. So certainly a good opportunity there. Otherwise, it definitely is going to be harder getting yarn going forward, trying to figure out where else to purchase these things. We do have a Michael's in the same town that the Joann's were, but again, you know, everything is an hour for me. And then there's also a Hobby Lobby, I think I'm sure there's a Hobby Lobby in Wilmington also. I typically do the shopping up in the Goldsboro area, but Hobby Lobby isn't open on Sundays, and that's when I'm typically in town. So it can be a little bit more difficult getting some of that. And I love this yarn brand that Hobby Lobby carries. I find that a number of theirs are so much softer, but it's still harder to get to and harder to make that trip. But we're gonna have to see what's happening and figure out where to go from there. So I don't know that I have a whole lot more to update people on as far as the crochet business goes. So things are slower for crochet right at this moment, just because we're so wrapped up with dance activities right now. So things will pick back up here soon. In a week from now, I will be looking at that next show. Certainly have there's a train going through town. It's going to be coming right behind me. So I think that's it for now. That way we don't have to sit through the train. So everybody take care, and I will chat with you next time.